If you just got the PSVR 2 because of the permanent price reduction, then you absolutely need Gran Turismo 7. The real driving simulator cranks the immersion full throttle in the most breathtaking racing experience, and it's 50% off right now! With over 35,000 people rating it 4.37 out of 5 stars, 84% of the audience gave it 4 or 5 out of 5. And just as a heads up, if you already own the PS4 version, you can upgrade to the PS5 version for around $10 American. What's really cool is that you can use your DualSense controller playing Gran Turismo while you're charging your PSVR Sense controllers, playing with the traditional classic setup or motion controls where you can steer it just like a racing wheel. But I highly recommend getting at least a decent force feedback racing wheel, as it really is absolutely mind-blowing. I've never played anything at the arcades that felt even close to this force feedback wheel, and couple that with the PSVR 2 4K HDR OLED display, along with the headset haptics, and you're totally living the dream here. Specifically, I'm currently using the Logitech G29 from like 6 years ago, and I'm still really happy with it. But I really do want to upgrade to a direct drive wheel, as they provide the most precise, most realistic next-gen racing experience. So I do have to recommend everyone looking into that and maybe spending the extra couple $100 if you can afford it. And you're seeing that the whole direct drive thing allows you to change up the steering wheel directly to that motorized base, allowing you to essentially switch out any style of wheel. But I personally want to get the Logitech DD Pro, as it touts to have the actual direct drive steering with a life-sized steering wheel, unlike all the other ones I'm seeing here on the market. Now, if you really want to feel everything without connecting directly to the Matrix, you can clamp that racing wheel onto the yaw motion simulator, and as you can see right here, the sense of speed and braking would be perfectly translated in real life, like having an amusement park in your living room. Legit. Of course, quality does cost money, and this thing is at least a couple thousand US, but I do want to show you guys what's currently possible now at home, especially with the PSVR 2 setup here. And for those of you like me who were able to get the PS5 Pro, I want to give a shout out to Cussman. In the comments last time GT7 was on sale, he had explained in excellent detail on how to set up the video output settings to eliminate the reprojection in GT7. This is at the cost of the HUD element showing more wonkiness, which, to be honest, I shut the HUD off completely, so it's perfect for me. Thanks so much, Cussman, for sharing that info. That's truly game-changing stuff. Very much appreciated. And everyone, please check out Cussman's YouTube channel for many other gameplay demonstrations that you can't find anywhere else. Awesome. And for those of you that are still unsure whether or not Gran Turismo 7 is for you, as Cussman mentions here, you can check out My First Gran Turismo on the PlayStation Store for free right now. And yes, this is PlayStation VR 2 compatible. And I gotta say, I didn't realize how much content the free trial offers here. This is a beginner-friendly introduction to the world of racing, crafted to bring the most excitement of Gran Turismo to new players. It captures the essence of those unforgettable first laps in a streamlined, approachable experience. Players can unlock achievements by completing a variety of fun and engaging challenges that introduce essential racing techniques such as cornering, braking, and acceleration. Set record times across an array of challenges, including 3 race events, time trials, and license tests. Feel the exhilaration of driving 18 unique cars through a variety of scenarios that sharpen your racing craft on 3 iconic Gran Turismo circuits: Kyoto Driving Park, Deep Forest Raceway, and Trial Mountain Circuit. Either way, this is a true system seller, and you'll always have something to play for years to come, whether in single player mode, campaign, against Sophie the super sophisticated AI, and of course online multiplayer with its online worldwide tournaments. The only real negative for some of you is that the game requires an internet connection to play even single player, so just a heads up on that.
Another bat.
Oh, thank you for that.
I got him.
I totally pulled back at the last second.
I got it.
Finally, the highly anticipated 4-player multiplayer patch has arrived in Ancient Dungeon VR, and it's 20% off. Over 570 people rated it 4.72 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, with many popular YouTube channels giving this a perfect score, such as Without Parole. And since the latest update, there's now a few more relics, milestones, and journal pages, along with 2 new alternate dungeon floors to explore. And finally, just recently, I was able to play this for the first time ever and discover it with my wife, and would love to totally show you our experience in the video shown here. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested. And just to speak to this, we've only passed the first floor so far and have spent at least 3 to 4 hours playing total. I can already highly recommend this at full price, and can see this appealing to pretty much everybody, as I've heard about this game for so long now and can only appreciate its awesomeness once inside the game, which is just incredibly immersive, honestly. And this is a procedurally generated underground labyrinth with no way back and only one way to escape. fight through hordes of different enemies with a variety of upgradable weapons, and improvise using the rich physics-based combat to survive. Right on. No two dungeons are the same, which means each run is different from the last. Collect and uncover over 100 different upgrades, such as companion wisps, to game changers like exploding throwing knives. Experiment with upgrade combinations to gain unique advantages. Use the environment to gain the upper hand as you battle an array of deadly creatures. Encounter wights, slimes, skeletons, wisps, flying skulls, champion enemies, and more in thrilling melee and ranged combat. Discover the true history of the ancient dungeon. Search for long-lost writings and historical records, and reveal hidden secrets throughout deep environmental storytelling.
This is starting to freak me out.
We have to regroup. Get back together right now. It's hunting us. No. What happened? What happened?
Phasmophobia is a 4-player online co-op psychological horror game, and it's 25% off. Over 16,000 people have rated it 4.69 out of 5 stars, with 93% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. I'm trying so hard not to watch or hear any of this, as I do plan on picking this up to play online co-op with the wife using that digital game sharing feature, so it's really hard to speak to this right now from personal experience, but you and your team of personal investigators will enter haunted locations filled with paranormal activity and try to gather as much evidence as you can. Use your ghost hunting equipment to find and record evidence to sell on to a ghost removal team. In this game, you'll identify over 20 different ghost types, each with unique traits, personalities, and abilities to make each investigation feel different from the last. Using well-known ghost hunting equipment such as EMF readers, spirit boxes, thermometers, and night vision cameras. With 5 difficulties to choose from, along with daily and weekly challenges, there are plenty of ways to test your skills. Now, if you want to play it safe, you can support your team from the truck by monitoring the investigation with CCTV and motion sensors. And I believe the game can be played cooperatively with flat screen players as well. And it includes crossplay support, making this even more engaging with a broader audience. It also touts you can create your own game modes to suit your group's needs. Interesting. That said, I'm sold, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys how this all goes down, hopefully in the next few weeks. Feel like a Jedi in this epic PSVR 2 exclusive in Synapse. And it's 35% off right now. Over 2,300 people have rated it 4.6 out of 5 stars, with 92% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, and me giving it a 5 for sure. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium member, you already have this game in your catalog. And I just have to say, this game played absolutely beautiful in room scale, and the 4K HDR OLED display, oh my, the grayscale effect with the colors, amazing, honestly.
Oh, in the face! Oh, seeing those tracers right by my eyes like that. Oh, no. Oh, man.
The feeling of the adaptive triggers when you grab a barrel and then you're having it hover in front of somebody, you can feel that tension in that trigger, and then you just slowly squeeze it more, and then you feel it pop.
I can grab that barrel lightly, move it, and then if I squeeze it, make it blow up. Boom. So cool, guys. You can use your whole body to take cover, but now that they've included this grip button, you can just stand anywhere or sit on a couch and literally pull yourself into cover and out like that. Incredibly awesome and intuitive. Like this, I'm going to climb. You can use your right hand as well when you're climbing. Amazing, honestly.
Every gun, every weapon, everything just felt so intuitive to play with, so butter smooth. If you want to know how the game actually works, I did cover this in detail. I did platinum the game. I absolutely loved it. It didn't actually take that long, maybe a couple days, not even. But the game really did pick up after the first run. So you beat the game, and then you have another run, and then you do it again, and then there's a third run after that. But truly, the game really picked up on the second run. It felt like I was learning the game the first time, and then the challenge just kicked in big time. And with that, the fun factor, obviously. So cool, guys. And knowing that this is exclusive to the PSVR 2, you do need to run out and get this. But the biggest surprise hit, and now one of my favorite games of all time, Stilt, is the closest thing to Super Mario 64 in VR, and it's currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 340 people rated it 4.56 out of 5 stars, with 90% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And me giving this 5 out of 5 hands down, because this game is is a masterpiece. The 4K HDR OLED display absolutely makes this game look beautiful. On top of that, you've got a native 120 frames per second, which makes this game feel absolutely real when you're inside. There's no jitter, no stutter whatsoever. This is the first true Super Mario Bros. In VR. Unlike an Astrobot, a VenVR, or a Max Mustard, you are actually the player in the game at full life size, and that changes the formula completely. You know, seeing a little floating dude in front of you as you're controlling him has always been fun for me, don't get me wrong. I've always enjoyed that, but you being that dude in game, having to bounce around on these skinny platforms and using these stilts, unlike hitting a button where you're just pressing that and you jump, or you press and hold and it jumps longer. The amount of precision, the amount of control you have with them. And I highly recommend when you get this game, don't start off bouncing around like this, just lift your arms up. There are no legs to your avatar, so when you do this, all of a sudden your body's on the ground, and then you just push yourself off like this and practice doing that. Even the littlest flicks from the ground, you'll just get the smallest amount of jumps. The absolute precision you get from these controls are masterful. Honestly, I never thought just moving around at all times in a game was total fun, like jumping on a trampoline.
Look at the incredible control. Just the lightest little flick. See? Stick my stilt out and hold like this. And again, you don't have to jump from spot to spot because of the gorilla tag. Look, you just literally do this. So much easier, man. The controls are phenomenal. Such an awesome game. Now that said, I do have to get over... Oh, see that? Awesome. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
And that said, when you go to jump really high and a wall is in front of you, do be sure when you flick those wrists, turn them sideways like this. The reason is because if your stilts are facing forward, you're just going to push off the wall. And that's a good thing because you're going to have to do wall jumps like classic Mario style, off a wall and off a wall again.
Oh, Mario wall jump! Ah! Oh my goodness. Oh, that is messed up. Ah.
It's been so long since I've experienced the game with that classic Nintendo feel, but do it absolutely beautifully, perfectly actually, and then reinvent the wheel with the new control scheme.
I don't even know. Like, so okay, to the right. Oh man.
And I keep comparing this to Mario 64, this game does have 20 levels to explore. And just like classic Mario style, each world has a whole plethora of stamps filled throughout the entire level. You're encouraged to collect them because the more stamps you collect, the more that you can actually one-up and then keep coming back into that world and continue. And each world has stars like in Mario, but they're called gifts. So same idea, you collect these gifts in each world, that way you can open up another section of the overworld, which is the island, and it contains another section of worlds to play in. And that overworld is just like the Mario castle with the paintings, but instead of paintings, these are mailboxes that are just sitting around that island that you go to. And those levels do have these little hidden caves. If you think about pipes in Mario where you go into a specific pipe and then you've got this little underworld area to discover, there are those caves in this game where you have these challenges and a gift locked in there. And when I compare this to the original Super Mario Bros., the challenges, I've never experienced anything like this in VR, honestly guys. The creativity, the level design, the music, the controls, the sense controllers, the headset haptics,
Beautiful.
Everything is completely polished. Even at the end of each world, just like classic Mario World 1-1. Unlike hitting a pole at the end of each stage in Mario Brothers where you run, jump, try to get to the highest point and then you drop on that flag. And this one, you're seeing a bunch of balloons lined up to a top yellow balloon with a crown on it, and you've got 3 seconds to get up and hit that crown. It's quite difficult. Again, like Mario 64, you'd collect 100 coins and you get like a free star. In this game, on the left side, you're seeing on the pause menu here, or at the end of the stage, there's a certain amount of stamps that you have to collect and keep until you reach the end of the stage in order to get that actual gift. And the gift on the right side is awarded for completing the stage within a set time limit. Just like Mario 1 again, the time counts upwards, it's not counting down, so really bizarre but old school awesomeness. And then at the bottom you can see this line with these 4 icons. It's actually bronze, silver, gold, and that's the actual time you need to get that gift reward on the right side there, and then platinum, which is not a gift, it's a medal, and you do want to collect all of those medals in order to get the platinum trophy in the game. The game does include an assist mode if you find the challenge is too overwhelming. I did not use it whatsoever, I plowed through it. I have not tested it, but I do know you can include more platforms, give yourself more power-ups, unlimited lives, all that stuff. You get to actually choose how you want to assist yourself. And then they include this multiplayer mode with a multitude of different game modes I've yet to even experience. So here I am telling you, this is my favorite VR platformer of all time, one of my favorite VR games of all time, if not one of my favorite games, truly, and no one seems to be talking about this the way that I feel. Believe it or not, this is like the second scariest game I've ever played because my hands were sweating profusely because of the sheer terror of heights in this game.
Oh, that messes me up. The ascension there. wah, wah. Oh man. Oh, I should not look down. Where do I go from here? Oh, this is nightmare shit for me. For real, for real.
This is just seriously crazy how you have to use your absolute skill and precision at these crazy heights with these small little moving platforms. It's incredibly terrifying. It's really hard to describe if you're afraid of the heights. And again, like Mario Brothers, there are these power-ups that absolutely change the game completely. For instance, when you pick up the fireball, instead of bouncing around or using your stilts to bop them on the head, you just fire these fireballs out of your cannon. But unlike Mario where you're throwing them with a button, I'm actually firing with my trigger, feeling the adaptive trigger, and then it feels like it's lobbing them. And then you've got a propeller that'll help you just glide across a bunch of obstacles. And with those stamps that you're collecting to get 1-ups, you can use those stamps to actually purchase power-ups when you come back into the world. Guys, I haven't felt this way for decades, since like Mario 64 released on the N64. Such amazing controls that I've never seen in any other game. No matter how much talking I do or how many clips I show you, you will not understand until you're inside the game yourself and using your hands and feeling that precision as you're bouncing around.
Beautiful. Never done that before.
This pushes the whole VR medium in general to the next level. That's why I feel everyone needs to experience this game. And honestly, I can't believe it's already cheap to begin with, and then to see this at over half off, you absolutely need to get this game whether you love platformers or not.
Why would they build a research facility way out here?
Red Matter 2 is an award-winning immersive puzzle adventure, and it's currently 35% off right now. Over 1,900 people have rated this 4.83 out of 5 stars, with 97% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. That's got to be one of the best ratings on the PlayStation Store. Quite simply, this game has blown me away technically speaking, and has set the bar for what I expect a PSVR 2 game can look and play like. And I am happy to report I've just completed it, and every moment in Red Matter 2 is utterly jaw-dropping. Just as a heads up, the story does kick off right after Red Matter 1, and I highly recommend you play that one first. And even though this trailer does show some action sequences, it's really about 5% of the game, and a few have commented in the past that they felt bored playing it, so I do have to manage expectations here. Personally, I had a blast with this entire game, and have to remind everyone that this really is an environmental puzzle-based game. So I don't even want to tell you anything about the story. It did make a lot of sense to me, part 1, and now it's making a lot more sense as I'm playing just the first hour of the game. I cannot get over just walking around ever so slowly using my full body to turn in room scale VR, and everything just feels absolutely smooth and seamless.
Like movement based on controller. Yes, this is what you do want for room scale VR. Otherwise, if you go by head, when you're moving forward and you turn your head, all of a sudden your guy's going to walk that way. It's not realistic. You want it on controller for every game. And just to point this out as a room scale walking example, if I move forward and keep my arms still straight, that's how I can still move forward and look around. The moment I turn my arm with my head while pressing forward, that's what's turning me. It just feels like a next-gen experience, and you don't want to go back after that. Not using a right stick to turn at all. We don't do that in real life, you know what I'm saying? It's just natural to walk and look around. Wow. That's the hardest thing, guys. You really can't show people what this headset can do until they put it on. And again, you can talk about it all you want. But even myself, who's owned this for almost 2 years now, I still get blown away. Oh my goodness. Wow. Holy shit.
Shoot to kill, kill to move, dispatch foes and seize their weapon in midair to propel yourself forward in Vendetta Forever. And it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 35% off total. Over 170 people rated it 4.58 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And already this game is getting a ton of praise from some reputable sources, as you're seeing right here. And Push Square saying that it's the next VR must play. The 6th Axis said Vendetta Forever is a new contender for my favorite VR game, and Real Virtual said one of our favorite games of the year. Vendetta Forever fuses rapid fire tactical gunplay with effortless acrobatic style in an unapologetic love letter to classic classic action cinema. This takes everything you love about top-tier VR action, removing the fluff and cutting straight to the good part for 100% gunplay purity. Rampage through over 60 snackable slices of ultra-stylish strategic shooting. Every moment feels like cinematic mayhem, spanning saloon shootouts to high-tech hijackings at 30,000 feet. Take center stage and blast, zip, and slice through enemies to a pounding synthetic soundtrack. Dead Second is an arcade action cover shooter, and it's currently 25% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Over 130 people rated it 4.68 out of 5 stars, with 95% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Awesome. This totally reminds me of Crisis Brigade. However, in this game you remember the CSF Kronos Strike Force, a top secret agency that employs a small time dilation technology called the temporal overdrive. The device is synergized with the adrenal receptors of a CSF's agent's brain, granting them superhuman reflexes. Governments have fallen into disarray. Corporations and private military contractors rule the streets, take on a series of assignments, and make them pay. The Dead Second is a time reaction system. Defeating an enemy momentarily slows time, giving you a chance to dodge incoming enemy fire and acquire your next target. Chaining a quick succession of takedowns boosts your score, time, and accuracy points. Charge your temporal overdrive and dominate your adversaries. Progress through the ranks and unlock additional guns and cosmetics on your way to the top of the leaderboards. Assemble your party of miniatures, play action cards, and vanquish monsters with the roll of a die in this award-winning tactical tabletop RPG, Demeo, and it's 50% off! 685 people rated it 4.55 out of 5 stars, with 91% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just to reiterate, you can totally play this alone, which I did, or cooperatively, featuring crossplay, which supports up to 4 players. And yes, I can already recommend this from my personal experience, and I've only played the single player mode, and oh my, I have to say, it checks all the boxes of not just hitting the nostalgia, but hitting the fun factor in a small, well put together, polished package. Because this is a board game experience, you are choosing your pawns, which is your class of character, which does come with its own set of cards uniquely to that class.
The Guardian
ready.
is your righteous tank. She can soak up a lot of damage and is deadly in melee. The Assassin
Death is my profession.
is a sneaky backstabbing bastard and also good with traps and bombs. The Sorcerer is of the lightning bolt flinging type, but can also use his spells for crowd management. The Hunter.
I'm ready.
Well, she hunts, using bow and arrow, but she can also call on beasts from the wild for aid and charm monsters, amongst other things. But I'm thinking you just want to know how this little gem plays, right? Right. You can play Demeo in 2 ways. Either gang up with a few friends, 2 to 4 of you together for a nail-biting co-op run. Or go it alone in skirmish mode, where you'll control 3 champions.
It is time!
Planning your path through a floor and working together is a must if you hope to survive all the way to the end. You'll have to fight through several dusky floors of the Elven Necropolis. On each floor, there's a monster holding a key. You'll need that key to open the floor exit and proceed to the next floor below. And there'll be plenty of other monsters to fight along the way. The game is turn-based, which means all champions take a turn, spending action points to move, attack, open doors, and so on.
And what's really cool is that each class can only move a certain amount of spaces based on their speed, and they can roll that die once to attack generically, and that costs 1 action point.
You have 2 action points to spend each turn.
And notice the cost at the top of each card. Some of them don't cost anything, and you can use another card costing 1 action point.
And then the enemies do their thing. Attacks and card outcomes are resolved with a die roll. You'll either hit, do a crit. Crit means critical hit.
Which just means double damage.
And if you miss, your attack might hit something else nearby.
Including friends.
Spells, special attacks, and other items are all represented by cards. We've got potions that will heal you up or make you faster or stronger. There's a banish spell that'll teleport an enemy to a random spot. A barricade that you can use to create bottlenecks or even block off rooms. A repeating ballista. It'll shoot bolts into the monsters every turn until destroyed. A magic shield that'll halve all incoming damage. And much, much more. You'll start with a few cards on hand. You can find more in chests spread out across the floors. Or earn by defeating enemies and increasing your card meter. There's also gold for you to gather. I'll be here to greet you in between each floor. My bazaar comes fully stocked, and at bargain prices too. I'm happy to buy any card you don't want, at a reasonable price. Due to some wondrous wizardry, the monsters' loot, entry and exit points, and even the order of the many different floors is randomized. Every run is a fresh experience. It's up to you to coordinate with your friends on how to beat each floor. Or at least survive it. Reaching the final boss isn't easy, and it's not meant to be. Beating that stinking abomination will earn you plenty of bragging rights. Until someone else does it faster, that is. So, get your friends together, choose your champions, dive in, and above all, have fun.
The battle commence!
Now you can take everything you love about Demeo and compete against each other in Demeo Battles VR, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Only 41 people have rated this version 4.34 out of 5 stars, with 83% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 12% gave this 1 star. This 1-to-4 multiplayer online competitive turn-based strategy game features over 10 maps tailored for intense player versus player combat. Unlike Demeo, Demeo Battles VR has you assemble an army of monsters to fight alongside you. From rats and goblins to cave trolls to giant slimes, a cast of over 30 plus creatures to choose from, all with a mind of their own. This instantly reminds me of Farpoint's 1 vs 1 online multiplayer mode, where you would spawn monsters to fight with you, and it worked beautifully back in the day. In this game, each battle is 2 vs 2, where you can choose to control both champions on a team, or you can partner with a friend to compete against another team. Sounds awesome. To begin, choose a champion to match your playstyle with over 80 cards to purchase with coins when you enter the arena to build a unique loadout of monsters. Sharpen your skills for tactical triumph with over 60 single player challenges before you battle it out online in ranked mode, with average matches lasting just under 20 minutes. That's really interesting because I do remember Demeo could easily take a couple hours each session, so I'm really interested to see how this one plays out. And what's awesome is that it does include cross-play support to ensure that you'll always have a game to play. Right on. Anyone that owns it, plays it, loves it, or hates it, please let us know in the comment section whether or not we should grab this at that sale price.
Oh yeah, show me your thumbs, because I don't have any thumb. Is that it?
Hand tracking is now possible on the PlayStation VR 2, and with that, the classic wizard simulator has been magically transformed in Waltz of the Wizard, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. Almost 600 people have rated it 4.52 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Dive into a meticulously crafted, world-inspired, classical fantasy fiction many times its original size through major updates since its release. And I do mean major updates, guys. I played this years ago and this thing has expanded greatly. Waltz of the Wizard includes hours of content, thrilling gameplay, humorous characters, cutting-edge PSVR 2 features, and many curious secrets. Your journey begins in a magical tower where you combine arcane ingredients into a boiling cauldron with the help of your skull assistant and embark on an absurdly mysterious adventure beyond the tower. Quite simply, you will unleash dozens of extraordinary magical abilities, each bending the laws of physics in thrilling and powerful ways. Discover absurdly detailed secrets in every corner of your tower. This includes a large campaign with storyline, combat, and challenges with hundreds of voice interactions. And with that, you'll have incredible voice powers that can be used on everything. There's an infinite level generation mode for endless fun in the fortress dungeon crawling. Interesting. And you can also team up with a friend in asymmetric co-op with one on the flat screen and one in VR. Become a god and save your residents from the enemy in this VR tower defense game, Towers and Powers, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Almost 200 people have rated it 4.42 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Awesome. I did already buy this game on a previous sale, so I really need to load it up and see what it's all about. But from the PlayStation Store description, it says, in Towers and Powers, you'll find yourself in an ancient land surrounded by the beautiful landscape, elegant buildings, mythical creatures, and chaos. These gorgeous places are under attack. As one of the gods, you'll have to save your residents and keep their islands from falling. In this game, you're going to create your team of peasants, priests, warriors, and magicians, decide which buildings they need, use your powers to defend allies and trap foes. Awaiting you on your island, you'll find economic and military tasks to accomplish, exciting battles and travels to undertake, and loyal worshippers, cruel enemies, and monsters to encounter. And I gotta say, every time this goes on sale, the community has only said very positive things about this game. The critically acclaimed Cozy VR City creator just got a little bigger in Little Cities Bigger, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. Only 87 people have rated it 4.79 out of 5 stars, with 95% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And unlike Cities VR, I do believe this is more pick up and play, and you're doing these smaller portion areas like an island or islands connecting. But I think it does have that full SimCity feel. Again, I say SimCity, that's the original games that I started playing back in the day. That's what I can relate to. I'm not too sure how different this is from Cities VR. I don't think it's as detailed as Cities VR. I think this is more pick up and play all in one small polished package, but everything I'm hearing about this, it's better, so I'm not too sure why. Anyone in the comments section, if you own Cities VR and Little Cities Bigger, can you please speak to it and say which one is the more detailed, more fun to play out of the two? If you love the Rock Band or Guitar Hero, I highly recommend you check out Drums Rock Premium Edition, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. With over 1,200 people rating the game 4.27 out of 5 stars, 80% of the audience gave it 4 or 5 out of 5. And if you're unsure whether or not the game is for you, definitely check out that Drums Rock free demo right now. And that's what I did, and I was able to get an actual sense of flavor of what the game felt like, and I was totally impressed with the actual haptics on the controllers as well as the headset haptics. I didn't actually check out the eye tracking for the score, didn't play it enough. But yes, this is sit down, pick up and play, instant action. Aside from the arcade aspect, the game actually does feature a full-fledged 4-hour campaign and then fight 2 bosses along the way. Very cool. The game does keep getting all of this love and support. So much DLC going on, and speaking of which, in the premium edition you are getting the following DLC packs. Power Metal Music Pack. Specifically, you're getting Hearts on Fire by Hammerfall, King for a Day by Battle Beast, Blood of the Elves by Blind Guardian, When Angels Kill by Fifth Angel, Higher by Northtail, Twilight Force by Twilight Force. The next music pack, this is featuring The Offspring, and with this you're getting You're Gonna Go Far Kid by The Offspring, In the Meantime by Space Hog, My Own Worst Enemy by Lit, and Shine by Collective Soul. The other legendary music volume pack is Green Day, American Idiot by Green Day, Holiday by Green Day, The American Dream Is Killing Me by Green Day, I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles by The Proclaimers, and Stricken by Disturbed. But the most important add-on, I feel, is Drums Rock Undertale DLC, and of course with this pack you are getting the total Undertale theme here, beginning with the Undertale song Hopes and Dreams, as well as Megalovania. As well, you're getting the exclusive Undertale drumsticks, Undertale hands, Undertale scene, Undertale drums. But I feel the most important feature you're getting here is unlocking the exclusive extreme difficulty. And this is for all songs, like every song released for Drums Rock. So again, adding a whole nother layer of difficulty, which I like to play all music-based rhythm games on Expert as much as possible, because you're hitting note for note, and that feels, to me, the most immersive.
Matrix. That's cool. That's totally, yeah, easier in there. That's awesome.
And the next most awesome arcade experience I can highly recommend at full price is Crisis Brigade 2 Reloaded, and it's 35% off right now. Over 600 people rated it 4.19 out of 5 stars, with 81% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can totally speak to this. I do think not everyone will enjoy this game because you do have to stand up the entire time and physically crouch around your environment. And that's what I love about this game, is it actually has you taking cover at all times, and you don't use a left stick to move anywhere or right stick to turn around. So immersively awesome, it really is. And unlike a lot of games out there, it does not give you the option to include a crouch button, which I love. I personally think that's what makes this game amazing, is you actually having to stand and take cover physically at all times. Amazing, it really is. There are multiple levels to go through with multiple scenes in each level, and then after you go through those 3 campaign levels, there's like this time attack mode with 3 other levels in there, and they're all different. I truly cannot recommend this game enough, especially whenever it goes on sale. So I can already recommend this at full price. I think it's an absolute blast, but definitely want to say you do need to get this on sale for sure. Take back the planet in a massive mech suit in Big Shots, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. 132 people have rated this 4.14 out of 5 stars, with 78% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And the story for this one goes, an experiment gone wrong unleashed a relentless alien invasion, plunging humanity into chaos. Price Inc. initiated the Big Shots initiative to fight the invaders, and this is where you come in, rookie. Become a big shot and take on the pivotal role of an alien exterminator. As you gear up and evolve your mech, you'll venture deeper into infested areas and search for the source of all of this mayhem. Exterminations can be done solo or side by side with a fellow big shot, and that's what I'm totally interested in, playing this game with the wife using that digital game sharing feature. And when teamed up, working together is key to holding off alien scum and getting the job done. And what's really cool is that cross-platform play is supported, so none of your friends will be left out. And apparently this game takes advantage of an innovative movement system. I'm assuming, like all other VR games, you can freely walk around. However, I highly recommend that you sit down in a chair for this game if you are virtually in a mech suit to begin with, just saying. And only a couple weeks ago, the Supercharged update was released that allowed you to power up your mech with 60 brand new upgrades and ultimates, giving you even more ways to crush the bugs in style. Alongside these new updates, they've also enhanced Big Shots with key quality of life improvements and essential bug fixes. Even before this Supercharged update was released, I've only heard excellent things about this game on all platforms. The award-winning Zombieland Headshot Fever is a modern take on the classic arcade light gun shooter, and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Over 400 people rated it 4.26 out of 5 stars, with 84% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. I have to say, I did get a free review key from the developers, and I played it all the way through, and I was totally blown away.
So cool. Hearing their heads pop, honestly, and the sound of the guns is so awesome.
This is literally pick up and play instant arcade awesomeness. But unlike a Crisis Brigade, you are not using the environment to take cover. You're actually just trying to take everybody out as they're coming to you as fast as possible. But in classic Zombieland fashion, double tap and it blows their heads off. That satisfying feeling, hearing that head pop with the adaptive triggers, with the sound effects, with that 4K HDR OLED display, all cartoons look phenomenal, and the frame rate on this was awesome. And speaking of those headshots, when you get them, it slows down time. So that's how you get to, take your time, pop, 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 pop. Just such an amazing, satisfying feeling. Seriously, I felt, if anything, what really stood out on one of the guns, the revolver, the PSVR2 Sense controller, I could feel the chamber rotating in my hand, and I haven't had that in Pavlov or any other game. So yes, I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting that.
That vibration, the revolver, the chamber rotating, that's what I was trying to say. That was really neat, man.
And in classic arcade fashion, you just have these levels to go through. You have different ranks, and each one has objectives. And when you complete one of those objectives, you can unlock the harder levels until you go all the way through. That's simple. And then once you're through these levels, they do offer a B-side with more challenges. And I did not get through all of this. I put in lots of hours into this game, and I have to say, I left really happy. But I did cover this in detail in another video, and I'm showing you the thumbnail right now. I highly encourage you check that out if you're interested in getting this game. I can highly recommend it at that sale price, if not at full price, truly.
Here we go.
But the next horror game is a must-have for the PSVR 2, and I'm talking about Resident Evil 4 Gold Edition at 40% off currently. And just to speak to how popular Resident Evil 4 is, over 90,000 people rated this 4.76 out of 5 stars, with 93% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Incredible. And when you do go to buy this game, I do have to say this because a lot of you didn't know that you do not have the VR mode built into the game right away. So when you go to Resident Evil 4 on the PlayStation Store, just go down all the way to the bottom where you see add-ons, and you're going to see the Resident Evil 4 VR mode there. Click that, download it, install it, then load your game. That way you can play in VR and use your PSVR 2 Sense controllers. Otherwise, it defaults you to the large-ass cinematic screen and you're using your DualSense controller, and a lot of people didn't know that. That's not the VR mode. That said, when you do go to play this in the VR mode and you did just grab this gold edition, there are a lot of DLC extras here that you cannot use in VR. And the first one being the most important here, this is called Separate Ways. This is a side story with Ada Wong. Over 500 people have rated this 4.77 out of 5 stars, with 93% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Before any US agent had even set foot in the Cursed Village, she was there. Her mission? The retrieval of the cult's darkest secret, the Amber. Separate Ways, the missing link in the main story, is a thrilling survival horror adventure starring Ada Wong. See the other side of the story from her eyes as her mission and fate intertwines with Leon Kennedy's a second time. And the other thing that's included with the base game, not in the gold edition, it doesn't come with it obviously, but in the base game you do get Resident Evil 4 The Mercenaries. 278 people have rated it 4.57 out of 5 stars, with 84% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And this game mode is all about racing against the clock and battling your way to the top of the leaderboards. Even though those two game modes are not in VR, I do feel compelled to tell everybody, because if you are getting these gold editions, you need to know exactly what you're getting here. And speaking of which, the next big one is the Resident Evil 4 Extra DLC pack. This one comes with a slew of items here, and I'm going to go over each one so you know what works in VR and what doesn't. The first one here is Leon's sunglasses, and I thought they were just an aesthetic where you see it on the actual person in game, but no, it actually does affect gameplay. I did not know this, so props to Percy for letting us know that in Resident Evil 4 the sunglasses make you immune to flashbangs. I never would have thought of that. And in the PlayStation Store description you can see here, it talks about protecting your baby blues from the sun and other pesky monsters with these sunglasses. It could help you with other things that I'm totally unaware of. Again, anyone in the comments section, please pipe in, let me know if I'm missing anything, that'd be awesome. And in order to actually put these sunglasses on, you do go to the pause menu in the extra section there. That's where you can actually change up your stuff. And it does say right here that the sunglasses can be used in both the main game and the Separate Ways DLC. But remember, the Separate Ways DLC is not in VR. And the next thing you're getting here is the Sentinel-9. I love using pistols. I didn't look at the actual description before, and it says it's a fully customized handgun for tackling bioterrorism. You know, that means nothing to me other than it boasts both accuracy and versatility, making it the reliable choice. Anyone in the comment section, if you can speak to this, do you feel an actual gameplay difference by using this pistol over the default one we have in the game here? And in order to access this, it says deluxe weapons can be claimed from the storage menu at the typewriter, the save point there. But unlike the sunglasses, this can be used in the main game, but not the Separate Ways DLC. And just like the pistol, same idea here, you're getting another version of the shotgun called the Skull Shaker. And quite simply, it does say it's a sawed-off stock and barrel, so you are allowing for excellent maneuverability and handling. Again, anyone in the comment section, if you've been playing with both shotguns, can you let us know whether or not that's actually a gameplay difference? And same idea here, again, all deluxe weapons you do have to claim at the typewriter, but this can only be used in the main game and not the Separate Ways DLC. And when it comes to the costumes, you're getting a casual set for both Leon and Ashley, but unlike the pistol and the shotgun, you can use the costumes in the main game and the Separate Ways DLC. And all you have to do to access that, you just hit the pause button and go into the extras menu and you'll see all your costumes in there. And the next one that you're getting here is the romantic set for both Leon and Ashley. Same idea, just go in the extras, change it up. Of course, all costumes can be used in both the main game and the Separate Ways DLC, but this costume and filter, the costume can be used, again, just like the other ones, in the main game and the Separate Ways, but the filter is not VR compatible. When it comes to the filter, that's a 2D flat screen experience, and what you're seeing here, this is an actual image of the before and after. So personally, when I'm seeing this, it looks really washed out. I'd rather just the original look altogether. And the next costume and filter they're offering, same idea, you can only use the costume. Again, you're getting the villain version, which quickly showing you here, this is the actual filter, and I feel like it looks kind of red and orangey. It doesn't look as good as the original version, so I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm not seeing it on my screen, but yeah, I can't recommend any of this stuff, to be honest with you. But the one thing that does sound really cool to me is the original soundtrack swap. I did not play this game back in the day in 2004 or whenever it was on the PS2, I can't remember. But for those of you that have and have this nostalgic attachment to it, it's so cool that you can just go into your extras menu and then switch that to the original soundtrack, and I believe all of the action sounds like the guns and sound effects and everything, so that's really neat. But that said, you can only use this in the main game for Resident Evil 4. It does not work in the Separate Ways DLC. You're also getting a treasure map expansion, which the game does include a treasure map to begin with. This simply just adds more treasures to the existing map and some additional treasures that weren't in the game to begin with. And you can simply confirm that by looking at your original map once you've installed this stuff. And this expansion only works for the main game of Resident Evil 4, not for the Separate Ways DLC. However, you can use the items that you've accumulated in the main game from the treasure map and bring them over to Separate Ways. So that's cool. But yeah, that's what they're saying here in the official PlayStation Store description. And for those of you that are still on the fence as to whether or not this game is for you, I highly recommend that you get the gameplay demo on the PlayStation Store right now. And yet another absolute must-have for every PSVR 2 owner, Resident Evil Village is currently 60% off. Over 35,000 people rated it, 4.68 out of 5 stars, with 91% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Awesome. And just like Resident Evil 4, the game doesn't have that VR mode built into it, so you do have to find Resident Evil Village on the PlayStation Store, go all the way down until you see add-ons. You're going to see the free VR mode there. Click that, download it, install it. Otherwise, it goes to a large cinematic screen and you're using your DualSense controller. It's in 2D mode, so you do need that VR mode literally downloaded, installed before you load the game to actually experience this in awesome full VR. And what's cool is that this standard edition is all you need to play this AAA PSVR 2 exclusive in that full VR mode, and it's what I highly recommend for everyone to have in their library. Whether you're into the horror genre or not, and trust me, I am not whatsoever, this game is an excellent showcase of how the PSVR 2 can transform an already incredible game and shoot it straight into the next generation. Seriously, you're now inside the beautiful world at life size with no compromise. If anything, you have only more ways to unleash your actual abilities, such as dual wielding weapons while running in room scale VR, blocking incoming attacks, manually reloading during intense combat, and then opening your trench coat to use your flashlight. Awesome. And again, just to reiterate, you do not need anything else but this standard edition to enjoy that full VR awesomeness. However, there are some extra DLC items that you can get on sale, but only some of them work in VR. And I'm going to go over really quick what works and what doesn't work in VR. Now, the one thing that is available for you to use in VR, this is the Survival Resources Pack, and it's 25% off. With that, you are getting some handgun ammo, shotgun ammo, a first aid med pack, and a lockpick. And the other item that you can use in VR, this is the Mr. Raccoon Weapon Charm, and it's 25% off, and this is simply just an aesthetic charm that hangs off of 2 shotguns, the M1897 and the W870 TAC shotgun. I think that's how you pronounce them. Next, we have a weird one. This is the Extra Shop All Access Voucher, and it's 60% off. That said, this is not available in VR. I have no idea why. I've not used any of the actual DLC in either of the Resident Evil games here. And on the PlayStation Store description, it just says that it unlocks all rewards in the extra content shop. But again, this does not work in VR, just saying. Next, we do have a bundle of items that do have a few things that will work in VR. This is the Trauma Pack, and it's 25% off. And with that, it does include the Samurai Edge AW Model 01, and that is available in VR, as well as the Resident Evil 7 Found Footage Filter, and that is not available in VR, as that's for the flat screen experience only. You're getting the Resident Evil 7 tape recorder save point. Unfortunately, that is not in VR. You're getting Safe Room Music Go Tell Aunt Rhody, that is in VR, as well as the Mr. Everywhere weapon charm, that is in VR as well. And with this Trauma Pack, you'll immediately unlock the Village of Shadows difficulty. And I do not know whether or not that Village of Shadows difficulty is available in VR. Anybody in the comments section, if you've played this, please let us know whether or not we can do this in VR. If not, I'm gonna have to check it out sooner than later and let everybody know. You're also getting the Tragedy of Ethan Winters artwork and the Baker Incident Report, which are not available in VR. But the most important DLC for all the hardcore Resident Evil fans, this is the Winter's Expansion, and it's 50% off, and there are 3 main modes to this game, and they're not available in VR, unfortunately. The first one is the ability to play the game in third-person mode. This is the classic Resident Evil 4, where you're seeing yourself in third person, but man, I gotta say, if you're a huge fan of the Resident Evil series, you probably will want to check this out. As well, this includes the Mercenaries additional orders, and just like the Resident Evil 4, this is a separate minigame where it's all about your skills in these time-based challenges. But unlike Resident Evil 4, this one includes 3 new characters, including the towering Lady Dimitrescu, as well as Heisenberg from what I'm seeing here in the trailer. I do not know that third one. Anyone in the comment section, if you want to let us know, that'd be great. But the most significant part of this DLC is called Shadows of Rose, and this is a new scenario starring the grown-up Rose, Ethan's beloved daughter, who was kidnapped as a baby that kicked off the original Village story. And just showing you real quick the rating that this actual DLC received, I am assuming that is the Shadows of Rose DLC, that is that extra storyline plot. I do wish that was in VR, like Daughters on Resident Evil 7. Don't know why they didn't do that. That would have been really cool to play. And if you did get the Winter's Expansion, you may be interested to know that you can also get the Street Wolf outfit for Rose, and that's 25% off, but that said, it can only be used in that Winter's Expansion DLC, as it gives Rose a tougher look as she takes on enemies with this jacket, which features the logo of Chris Redfield's Hound Wolf Squad on the back. Interesting. And speaking of which, the next DLC is again not in VR, but I didn't even know this existed until I did these sales videos. In the base game, you do get for free Resident Evil Reverse. This is an online multiplayer game that you play against your friends where you're fighting each other as teams, then whoever dies, they spawn into these monsters and now they're attacking you. I've never played before, again, not in VR, will never play this. It even says in the description that the online service does not last forever, and at any time this game could go offline, so heads up. And for those of you that are still unsure whether or not Resident Evil Village VR is for you, you can check out the Resident Evil Village VR gameplay demo on the PlayStation Store for free right now. And the other 2 must-have Resident Evil games are currently bundled together. Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition and Village Gold Edition are 63% off. And that is including Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition, all of the DLC that was included. Even though you cannot play any of this stuff on your PSVR 2, there is a rumor going around that this is going to be remastered for the PSVR 2. I can't confirm that for sure, but if you don't already own the game, this might be the time to actually get it. And unlike Resident Evil 4 and 8, Resident Evil 7 had most of the DLC available in VR, and they were excellent. I remember playing all of it. It was so amazing. Daughters was my absolute favorite, giving you the origin story of how Eve actually arrived at the Baker family. This bundle also features Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, which does include many extras such as the Trauma Pack, Winter's Expansion, and Resident Evil Reverse, which I go over in great detail in the last chapter there if you missed it, because the DLC for Village is also on sale. But I do have to say that I only recommend getting the Standard Edition, which is also on sale right now, and it's all you need to play the incredibly awesome VR mode. And just like Resident Evil 4, the game does not have that VR mode built in, so you do need to go to the PlayStation Store, find Resident Evil Village, go all the way down till you see add-ons, click that VR mode, install it, then load the game up and you're ready to go. I personally think all the Resident Evil should be in your library if you own the PSVR 2, and I've never played anything Resident Evil up until the PSVR 1. Les Mills, the world's leading fitness company, brings the BODYCOMBAT experience to your VR headset, and it's 34% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 44% off total. Over 500 people have rated it 4.58 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. This fitness app claims to have an extensive workout portfolio, top quality coaching, innovative mechanics, and different intensities. BODYCOMBAT is the world-famous martial arts-inspired workout featured in thousands of gyms globally, and it's now in VR with new punch moves and knee strikes. This is for everyone, beginner to advanced, with 50 workout plans to help achieve your goals. All workouts claim to be scientifically designed to get the best results, and this does include 2 first-class coaches, Dan Cohen and Rachel Newsham, and they'll motivate you and push you through every workout. And the description claims to have the best soundtrack to motivate you, and it does include 9 dreamlike environments to inspire your fitness journey, with more to come. And that game does remind me of Box VR back on the PSVR 1, but 10 times better. This does look really good. I own the game, I've never popped it in before, so maybe I should sooner than later and let you guys know what I think. I'm just a little out of shape, but yeah, that might be the impetus or the excuse for me to jump into that game and check it out. The cult classic that redefined mobile games has landed in virtual reality in Angry Birds VR Isle of Pigs, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 300 people have rated this 4.15 out of 5 stars, with 78% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And seeing this in VR, unlike using the mobile phones where you're using your finger and judging the right angle to shoot at, to see this at full-fledged life-size 3D, using your actual skill in that slingshot and knowing it's all physics-based where you hit that area. Super cool. In this game, you join Red, Chuck, Bomb, and the Blues to save the stolen eggs. Explore the remote island where the greedy green pigs take their vacation in 104 fun-filled levels. Once the new boss pig, Dr. Frankenswine, takes over, it's time to slingshot your way through even more challenging spooky levels gameplay, where the beaches are scary, the cliffs are creepy, the slopes are slimy, and the peaks are terrifying. Throughout the levels, choose from different angles to make your slingshot, using classic Angry Birds gameplay elements to progress and strive for the best possible score. But the fun doesn't stop there. With the level builder, players not only have creative freedom to design and play their own levels featuring their favorite feathered friends, but they can now also share their creations. That is really cool. Have them ranked by the greater Angry Birds VR Isle of Pigs community and discover an unlimited amount of player-created content. I didn't even consider the replayability of this game, already knowing there's 104 fun-filled levels already designed for you, and then seeing the infinite replayability. Just the fun factor, I'm guessing, would be there. You building your own obstacles for your friends to play on. That sounds really cool. Kizuna AI Touch the Beat is a new kind of rhythm game, and it's 50% off right now. Over 200 people rated it 4.53 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And from what you're seeing on screen, it is a new kind of rhythm game where you hang out in a virtual space with this Kizuna AI character. You can play in VR or non-VR mode. I'm not too sure why you wouldn't play in VR mode. And it also includes a view mode, which lets you travel through the game stages free as a bird. And in the game, there are 15 popular songs performed by Kizuna AI, including her massive hit, Hello Morning. And they do claim to have post-launch DLC in the works, including additional songs and outfits and other content, which I'm going to show you right now. None of this is on sale, but you do have the option of getting Touch the Beat Costume 1 Hello World 2020. The second costume here featured was from her 2018 tour, the AI Party Birthday With You, and the third one is a costume and additional song, as you're seeing here, Dogs Chrome featuring KZN. So the game is getting a lot of love and attention. I just can't speak to that personally. Again, anyone in the comments section that does know anything about that game, please speak to it for everyone else. That'd be awesome. Now, the first person shooter that is for everyone, apparently, this is Sugar Mess. Let's play Jolly Battle. It's 20% off currently. And as you can see here, this is a total cartoon paradise, and it claims to be a fun arcade first-person shooter for the whole family. Kind of sounds weird to say that, but yeah, it does make sense. You're going to embark on a journey through the amazing levels of the Sugar Kingdom. Make use of the vast arsenal of weapons that get stronger as you use them. Challenge mighty bosses and use their weak spots to defeat them. Or you can use special items to gain an advantage over your opponents. Other exciting activities are awaiting you, including solving challenging puzzles, riding in a unique vehicle around the kingdom, as well as feeling the rhythm and participating in musical performances. Fend off the attacks of the hilarious yummy enemies that shatter into pieces upon impact. Dive into a fairy tale world and find out the exciting story of the Sugar Prince and his mysterious enemy. And what's really cool, if you're totally unsure whether or not this is for you, me included, you can get the Sugar Mess Let's Play Jolly Battle demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. Featuring a fully voice-acted story to progress through, Startenders is an intergalactic bartending simulator, and it's 66% off right now. Over 120 people rated it 3.91 out of 5 stars, with 72% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 10% did give this 1 star. Abducted by accident and enrolled in the Startenders Bartending Academy, you'll have to shake, slice, and serve to survive until you find a way to escape. Use your skills to create delicious concoctions to serve to your alien patrons. Use wacky machines and even wackier ingredients to earn your way home. Unlock those new machines to build and strange ingredients to create your own drinks altogether. Visit colorful locations across the galaxy or hang out in the habitat. Make and name your own custom drinks for customers to buy and compete on the intergalactic leaderboards and daily play. Right on. I personally never played the game before, but I am seeing this other DLC or update that they've released with this new mode. I'm not sure if it's this infinite replayability or what, but this may be totally worth it at that sale price. Again, anyone in the comments section, if you own it, love it, hate it, played it, whatever, let us know what you think. In the future, toy companies want to expand and assist the military using toy mechs to train for battle in Mecha Party. And it's 50% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 20% more, making it 70% off total. Only 45 people have rated it 3.89 out of 5 stars, with 69% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. But 24% gave this 1 or 2 stars. This legit supports up to 3 versus 3 and has seasoned player versus player combat. From long range shooting to melee combat, mechas have a variety of skills. It totally reminds me of that game called Overwatch. I've never played it before, but that is the multiplayer online battle arena type game. The story goes that it's the 21st century and robotics have taken the world by storm with robots and AI and are ever present in people's daily lives. Interesting. Toy companies, having recognized the true potential of this technological wonder, have introduced robot model toys equipped with state-of-the-art VR operating systems, allowing users to immerse themselves in epic virtual battles. Simultaneously, players are assisting the development of AI combat models in hopes of expanding the business into the military sector, establishing the first ever robot battle league, the Mecha Party. So that's really weird because we're almost there. Literally, I'm playing VR. I don't know if I'm assisting the military by accident or not. It kind of reminds me of that Arrested Development episode where Buster's, taking down people with drones, not realizing he's not playing a video game.
And his childlike inability to distinguish between games and reality.
And to take advantage of this unique research opportunity.
Trapped in a dying spaceship filled with horrors, you must explore, survive, and find your way back to Earth in Cosmodread. And it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Over 200 people rated this 3.8 out of 5 stars, with 64% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Again, years ago, this would have been a lot better compared to other games that are currently available. It did take about 5 or 6 hours to get through the entire game, and it is a roguelike, but as you're going through, you're actually able to keep some of the weapons you were upgrading and crafting before, so each run becomes easier and easier. But really, it is a simple game where you're exploring this deserted spaceship, and you have these enemies come at you as you're going through it, just trying to survive with limited resources. So that is the appeal here, but I was expecting more of the searching around, actually grabbing and using items. It had a bit of that, but not much, if that makes sense. As well, there was something really bizarre. I feel like I'm the only one talking about this, so heads up. Right in the beginning of the game, when you load it, the first menu you see, if you just stop and stare straight, you're going to see the screen slowly turns to the right. This does not happen throughout the entire game, and you only notice it if you just stop and stand still for a sec. You don't notice that when you're running around constantly doing stuff. So it does feel like a bare bones crafting, surviving game. A lot of great ratings again years ago, but there are a lot of other better games out there, just saying. Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue is a groundbreaking VR horror puzzle game where you sneak into your creepy neighbor's house to save your friend. And it's 65% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 70% off total. Over 400 people rated this 3.68 out of 5 stars, with 64% giving this 4 or 5, but 19% gave this 1 star. I found out that this game actually has you play multiple characters at the same time. It reminds me of Grand Theft Auto 5, where you're using these 3 characters, but they're all in real time doing their activity in that location. And each unique character has their own key items and skills. And of course, you can choose at any time to switch between these characters, solving specific puzzles and avoiding the neighbor as you attempt to reach the creepy basement. You're going to have to use your wits to find alternate solutions to a dynamic range of puzzles and challenging environmental obstacles. Sounds awesome. Many puzzles that have seemed unsolvable at first glance require you to use the perspectives of the multiple characters in conjunction to overcome them. Very cool, man, honestly. You're supposed to use your own approach to infiltrate Mr. Peterson's house by alternating perspectives, of course, combining character skills to dynamically solve these puzzles, uncover hidden mysteries, and reveal new pathways through your environment. But of course, you are going to confront your fears, experiencing nightmarish dream sequences, and learn more about the secrets of the Hello Neighbor universe.
Life is a continuum of
Chernobyl Again is an adventure game that takes place in the 3D scanned Chernobyl exclusion zone for a more immersive and engaging experience. And it's currently 60% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 65% off total. Only 87 people have rated it 3.48 out of 5 stars, with 58% giving this 4 or 5, but 30% gave this 1 or 2 stars. In Chernobyl Again, you're going to explore the zone, experience its dark atmosphere, and follow a story full of unexpected twists and various kinds of puzzles you'll solve while traveling through space and time. Your goal will be to stop the Chernobyl nuclear power plant explosion and the consequences it brings not only to our timeline, but to alternate futures that have become available to us thanks to your discovery of time travel. To add to the story, living without parents isn't easy. You know that well. To the world, you are a successful Ukrainian scientist responsible for discovering time travel. But deep down, you're an adult that desperately wants to see your parents again. This is what drove all of your scientific experiments. But the world doesn't care about your idealistic motives. Mighty external political forces dream of restoring the old world order using you and your discoveries, even if that means leaving a trail of scorched earth and ending your life. Now it's your call whether to follow their orders or find allies and attempt to thwart their evil plans. Just remember that in a world full of lies, mystery, and special interests, the only person you can trust is yourself. Man, that sounds awesome.
We were just kids last I saw you.
Explore the streets of 1920s Birmingham and London in Peaky Blinders, the King's Ransom Complete Edition, and it's 20% off. Over 260 people rated it 3.33 out of 5 stars, with over half the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 30% gave this 1 or 2 stars. It's 1928 and you've been fleeing the firing squad for over a decade. Turning to infamous crime boss Tommy Shelby for help, you become embroiled in the hunt for Winston Churchill's Red Box, a briefcase containing the identities of every British agent around the globe. As you've drawn deeper into England's criminal underworld, you find yourself at war once again. Enemy factions are closing in, and they all want the box. For power, for money, and the chance to bring the country to its knees. Keep your wits about you as simmering tensions explode in intense action. Defeat the odds and bring back the box, by order of the Peaky Blinders. Now, the complete edition contains all additional content, including 7 narrative combat missions which take place after the main story. Explore Small Heath and Limehouse in free roam. Take on shooting galleries and combat challenges, and be rewarded with item skins and player customization options. Come face to face with iconic characters from the show, including Tommy Shelby and his hot-headed brother Arthur, both played by Cillian Murphy and Paul Anderson. And of course, this is improved for the PSVR 2, including the enhanced graphics, haptics, and the adaptive triggers. Very cool.
But hey, come on. Don't get spooked now, newcomer. Let's dive into this adventure.
Cave Digger 2 Dig Harder is a 1 to 4 player VR action-adventure game set in the Woodland Valleys, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 190 people rated it 3.39 out of 5 stars, with 56% giving it 4 or 5, but 26% gave it 1 or 2 stars. Start with a pickaxe in one hand and nothing in the other. Excavate the bedrock, reap the rewards of Mother Earth, and trade the mined valuables for new gadgets, travels, funky wild fashion, and more. Cave Digger 2 is a 1 to 4 player VR action-adventure game set in Wildland Valleys, where you discover old mines, nautical caves, and ruins of ancient civilizations inspired by Western, diesel punk, and Lovecraftian themes. Explore the pristine lands, loot its riches, and unravel the mystery linked to a great explorer. As you go, it's best to keep a 6-shooter nearby, just in case. Your goal is simply to mine and carry loot back to the surface the best you can for your mission assigners. With the surplus reward that you get, you can buy new things like upgrading your dependable pickaxe with a shinier look, and faster digging rate too, of course. The story has you follow the same path where a great explorer has once wandered. Who is this hardy explorer? Why did he come to these valleys? And where is he now? The answers to these and more lie in the depths of the valleys. The story has multiple endings, each revealing a different side of it. Find the scattered comic pages to a tale of greed, eldritch power, and secrets beyond space and time. Who the Wanderer is and why he did what he did in the valleys became clear in the end. But is it really the end? Very cool. This seems much bigger than the first game, if you've ever played that. That was on PSVR 1. Speaking of which, Cave Digger VR is currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. And over 500 people have rated this 3.48 out of 5 stars, with 55% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. But 19% did give this 1 star. And all I remember about the first one is that you're constantly going down this shaft and then you're hitting the walls, collecting as much gems or rocks as you can. There is an underground area with the track. There is a track on the outside that goes around a bit, but there wasn't much going on that I remember. But what surprised me after reading the description here is that this game did have 7 endings to begin with. And I was like, what? I don't remember that. But I did play through it once and it was okay back in the day. So I can't recommend this for PSVR 2. I am very curious about Cave Digger 2 though. Immerse yourself into the role of a barber and a tattoo master in Shaven Stuff, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Over 230 people rated it 3.78 out of 5 stars, with 69% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 21% gave it 1 star. Express your imagination, serve clients by matching their needs using tools at your disposal, or just have raw creative fun. Want to make someone bald? Or how about creating a colorful punk lifestyle? Want to regrow hair from scratch? Yep, you can do that too, straight from a spray can. And just watching the trailer here, it does look like you're given an objective with that photo being shown there, but it doesn't say much else on the PlayStation Store description about whether or not there's a campaign, or if there's a pure sandbox mode, or if there's any online leaderboards. Anyone in the comments, if you played this, loved it or hate it, please let us know whether or not you think we should grab this at that sale price. Now, if you're looking for a cute, fun, and relaxing game where you become a skillful groomer and a veterinarian, Pets and Stuff is currently 30% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Only 51 people have rated it 4.65 out of 5 stars, with 92% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Nice. And even though I haven't played this or the other game Shaven Stuff, Pets and Stuff does look more detailed all around, and from the PlayStation Store description, it does seem like it has a lot more content going here. On top of this, it touts to feature multiple locations with the ability to upgrade your clinic into the best of the best. Let your imagination run wild. With fully responsive and polished gameplay, make the best trims, feel the fur at the end of your fingertips, and capture the best photo shoots of your creations. The game features so many animals such as cats, dogs, raccoons, foxes, deer, and much more. Play with a friend in co-op as they use the TV to help you find the lost Seeker eggs in Seeker, My Shadow, and it's 50% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Only 33 people have rated it 3.27 out of 5 stars, with most giving it 3 stars. The premise of the game is that you step in the shoes of a mountain-sized giant, Spirit, and your goal is to lead and assist a tiny yet courageous seeker named Kippo through a collection of casual puzzle levels set in a serene and imaginative surroundings. This is a single player and local co-op game, where you get to explore the diverse set of compelling levels and discover the story by overcoming casual yet demanding puzzles as a single player or as an asymmetric cooperative with your mate. Locate and retrieve the lost Seeker eggs and collect the concealed cards from each level while engaging in the exciting, puzzling, and family-friendly scenery that send you on an immersive adventure. Again, anyone who's played this game, especially in the couch co-op mode, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that awesome sale price. Operation Serpens is a fast-paced action-adventure game made for VR, and it's 50% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. 117 people rated it 3.2 out of 5 stars, and as you can see, it's another mixed bag of reviews here. Join the unit of elite soldiers and choose your preferred gun to take down the ranks of the evil Snakes organization to the very top. Just remember to dodge the vast amounts of incoming bullets in order not to fail your mission. Play the single-player campaign, zombie survival mode, and co-op maps with up to 4 players, each mission bringing something new into play. Very cool that you can play up to 4 players in the actual campaign to begin with. That is awesome. Again, anyone in the comment section that owns it, has played it, please let us know your thoughts on whether or not we should grab this at the sale price. Participate in the hit TV series and the VR tailored adventure in Survivorman VR The Descent, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 15% more, making it 65% off total. Over 140 people rated it 2.92 out of 5 stars, with another mixed bag of reviews here. Again, you are participating in an actual episode of the hit TV series, and you're supposed to survive an Arctic nightmare as the sole survivor of a helicopter crash on a freezing mountain. Lost, cold, and with darkness closing in, can you build a fire and shelter to brave the elements? Test your survival skills in Survivorman VR The Descent, an authentic and dynamic adventure in the breathtaking Canadian Arctic. Face real-world extreme challenges that push your intellect, emotions, and physical abilities to the limit. Under the expert guidance of legendary survivalist Les Shroud, rely on your skills and resourcefulness to save your own life. In over 6 intense levels, confront challenges that test your survival skills and inch you closer to rescue. From crafting snowshoes to glissading down slopes, navigating glacial crevices, building hunting traps, rappelling cliffs, and keeping the fire burning, every move counts. Follow the river to potential rescue, but watch out for polar bears. Wah! This claims to have photorealistic exploration where you experience the extremes of mountain survival in a stunningly immersive first-person environment. Monitor body temperature, fatigue, and hunger using a convenient wrist-mounted HUD-like display to survive harsh conditions. Ever wonder if pigeons are real? Become the infamous bird in VR Pigeons, and it's 50% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. 100 people rated it 2.75 out of 5 stars, with 36% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but over half the audience gave it 1 or 2 stars. In this game, you're gonna channel your inner pigeon. Bob your head like a pigeon to use the unique movement controls to slip into your pigeon self. Go out into the world and find a rooftop. Wait for the granny to throw some bread. Eat as much bread as possible. Bread is life. And through this, you will unlock and discover 4 different levels, and the premise is to literally protect your bread from other pigeons while you're collecting bread and using power-ups and map shortcuts to be the fastest out of all of them. Anyone that's actually played this game, please let us know whether or not we should grab this on sale. Project Wingman Frontline 59 is a flat screen game with 6 VR add-on missions, and it's 30% off right now. Over 1,800 people have rated it 2.71 out of 5 stars, with 39% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but just under half the audience gave this 1 star. Oof. I do know there was like a huge fan base for Project Wingman, but from what I'm hearing, the graphics themselves are not that great. The actual fun factor isn't there for the 6 missions that they provide. It feels really short. But yeah, everyone everywhere has been talking about how let down they felt. Anyone in the comments section, if you had a positive experience with this game, please pipe in. Let us know, because otherwise I'm just regurgitating what other people are talking about. I've never experienced this before. But many people have been consistently saying the same thing about this. Enjoy a vivid, interactive fiction about an artist finishing her final piece of her gallery submission in Behind the Frame, the Finest Scenery VR, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Only 39 people have rated it 2.46 out of 5 stars, with most giving it 1, 2, or 3 out of 5. That said, I don't think this is a game. The actual PlayStation Store description goes on to say that now available in VR, you'll be able to paint brushstrokes and fully realize 3D space. A relaxing, eloquent experience that can be played at any pace. Become immersed in a panoramic world filled with resplendent colors, beautiful hand-animated visuals, and a smooth, easy listening soundtrack. As a passionate artist, seek the missing colors that will bring your paintings to life, all while remembering to take the occasional coffee and breakfast breaks that keep you going. There's more than meets the eye, for every painting has a story to tell. Sounds like Transformers. Dive into and explore panoramic VR worlds. Experience an evocative story through the eyes of a passionate artist. There's really not much else to say other than the PlayStation Store description and what you're seeing on the trailer here. Anyone in the comments section, if you own the game, app, experience, whatever you call this, please let us know what your thoughts are on whether or not we should get this on sale. I have no idea. Virtual makeovers never felt more real in House Flipper VR, and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Only 78 people have rated it 2.45 out of 5 stars, with 32% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but half the audience gave this 1 star. Grab the controllers and get to work. You will single-handedly assemble the heaters, plaster the walls, and do tens of other jobs to bring back the former glory of the place. And with better graphics and VR controls, you're now able to freely walk around at your own pace, unlike before where you had to teleport from node to node. Renovation activities require a lot of effort, so they included an animated companion, Beaver the Builder, to support you along the way while exploring the elements of the game. There is a series of challenging renovations ahead of you, so do not hesitate. Reach for your tool belt, get your crew, and take matters in your own hands. Are you ready to become the best flipper? It's all up to you. Again, anyone in the comments section, if you own this game, please let us know what you think and whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. You know, that rating there, was that during launch, or has the game been heavily patched since? I'm genuinely curious. Solve a mystery of the famous detective in this VR escape room called The Murder of Sherlock Holmes, and it's 65% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 70% off total. 33 people have rated it 1.82 out of 5 stars, with 70% giving this 1 star, but 18% gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. Wow, what happened here, man? I gotta check this out sooner than later, because I am genuinely interested in the whole premise of the actual game and how you can interact with everything. And that's what makes VR uniquely special. So to see that rating and to know this game offers us, you know, I want to know what's going on. Is it glitchy? Does it not work? Are the controls janky? Anyone in the comment section, if you can speak to this game, please let us know. Why did the score so low? What's going on? Is it too short of a game? You know, I'm genuinely curious. prepare for the fight of your life, because Down and Out is 70% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 75% off total. 140 people rated it 1.59 out of 5 stars, with 76% giving this 1 star and the rest completely mixed there. Probably the worst PlayStation Store rating I've seen on a PSVR 2 game yet, just saying. And this claims to be a first-person brawler where you take the mean streets as a wandering fighter, face waves of enemies and an intuitive, real-time combat system, rise to the top of street fighting rings, or explore the city and stake out your territory. Wealth and fame await you in an open world brought to life in stunning VR, where both danger and opportunities lie around every corner. This claims to be made for veterans of fighting games and new players alike. Let your fists do the talking. Down and Out's combat system is tailored for VR and easy to learn. Fight in any way you want, with your movements guiding your game attacks. Hammer your enemies with powerful punches, or watch for an opening and strike with surgical precision. The choice is all yours. But don't get overconfident, because the AI enemies adapt to your fighting style. Stay on your toes as you fight, because your enemies are watching. The game's AI learns from your fighting style and adapts, forcing you to mix it up if you want to win. Every fight promises a new challenge. Interesting. See, it sounds really cool. See the sights of Grand City. Explore the open world full of hidden secrets just waiting to be discovered by an intrepid explorer. Take a break from fighting to walk and ride a bicycle around the city. Feed and befriend adorable stray dogs and make them into loyal companions. You can even play a quick basketball game, mark out your territory on the street with custom graffiti, or grab a bite from a food stall. The streets are full of possibilities and excitement. Use the hard-earned cash won from your battles or found around the city to deck out your fighter in custom gear for that extra swagger. Be sure to stock up on essentials like food or healing items, or your next fight might be your last. Whether fighting your way through the game's storyline, simply chilling out and exploring the city streets, or participating in the mini-games and side activities, Down and Out promises fresh gameplay and exciting prospects at every corner. There's never a dull moment in Grand City. Be careful though, draw too much attention, you'll be on the run from the law. It feels and sounds like it's trying to be like Grand Theft Auto in VR. But man, had I not seen any of these ratings, you know, the actual description and watching some of the gameplay here, I'd be like, oh man, you know, for a few bucks at 75% off, maybe I'll grab it. But unfortunately, those ratings. Anybody in the comments section, if you own the game, played it, loved it, hate it, whatever, please let us know in the comments whether or not we should grab this at the sale price. Has this game been heavily patched since, or is it still floating at just above 1 out of 5 stars here? Oof. And now we're going to quickly go over all the DLC that's currently on sale, starting with my favorite music-based rhythm game, Synth Riders, because all of their music packs are 50% off right now. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium member, you already have the base game in your catalog, and now may be the time to get all the DLC at the best discount price yet. The next DLC is an immersive experience for Barbie, Dance and Dream, which is performed by 50/50, featuring Callie from Barbie the Album. 80s Mixtape Side A. And don't forget to pause the screen, that way you can read each of the songs that you're getting in here, otherwise I'm just going to go through this really quick. 80s Mixtape Side B. The Electro Swing Essentials Pack. Electro Swing Essentials 2. Gorillaz Music Pack. League of Legends, which does include its own unique experience mode, which is awesome apparently. The Adrenaline Music Pack plus Experience. Caravan Palace Music Pack. The Groovin' Essentials Music Pack, which does include Bruno Mars, a few of his songs. The Synthwave Essentials 2, and yet another pack with that PSVR 2 experience. Synthwave Essentials 3. The Cyberpunk Essentials Music Pack. The Muse Music Pack, and this pack does include that PSVR 2 experience. And the Lindsey Sterling Music Pack, and here's another one with that PSVR 2 experience mode. And the last bit of DLC on sale is for Walkabout Mini Golf, as there are 3 courses, or layers I should say, that are all 25% off. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium member, you do have the base game in your catalog already. So now may be the time to get those extra DLC courses. The first one is 8-Bit Layer. The second one is Laser Layer. And the last one on sale is Ice Layer. And that is all of the games and DLC during this Mega March sale going on until Wednesday, March 26th. If you guys like the video or any of the sales videos that I produce, please click that like button. And if you love what I'm doing with the channel, please subscribe to it. And for all of you that have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I super appreciate it. Until the next one.
PlayStation